So till yesterday we have discussed on the Azure storage services. So today we will be going with the concept of how we are deploying Azure resources and how we are managing the Azure resources. So going forward, so the main objectives we will be covering today is how generally we will be deploying the resources. So it might be through the portal directly. So we will go to the portal, Azure portal. From the Azure portal, we will be creating the resources. Or else we will be having two more interfaces like, so we will be having the CloudShell, including the Azure CLI and Azure PowerShell. So and apart from this, we having an Azure Resource Manager and Azure ARM templates. So I think you are listening them. Few of them might be listening already, then, or else you might be listening for the first time. So coming to the portal. So I'll show you a demo of how I am creating a resource group today. So okay. So I have opened the portal, Azure portal. So today I will show the how to create a resource group in all the three scenarios. So here first, in through the Azure portal, I am how I will create a Azure resource. So I will click on a create resource here. So if you are not knowing how to create an Azure resource and navigate those things, so directly in the search you can search for the resource group. So here I will search for the in the marketplace. I will search for the resource group here. So I got the resource group here. This is the way how we will go through the portal is an UI interface which will be have a direct interaction with, so it is like in friendly manner we can create anything. So here I will create a resource group here. I clicked on the create button there. So in order to create any resource group, as Vamsi said, so first we should require any subscription. So if you go into the live working in the production environment, definitely you'll having few or more subscription. So as we are in the free trial, I have only one subscription. So let's say I will name my resource group as tech with us RG. So if there are already a resource group created under this name, it will not take the resource group. So here it will show what are all the regions you can host your resource group. So East US, West US, Central India, Central Asia, Central US. Like this we have many regions. So let's say I will host my resource group under East US. Okay. So next I will go to the tags. So tags are used mainly for to identify these resources. So let's say now I am having only one resource group. In future I might be having 100 resource group. So what I can easily identify, I will give as tag value as environment, and the value I can give as here development environment. So all the resource groups that are tagged under development will be like it is created for the development environment purpose. You have created the resource group. So let's say if I have given here production, so all the resource groups that are having the tag is production, that comes under the production environment. It is like differentiating and identifying the resources based on this tag value. So once you have given the respective tag, you can click on review and create. So how what review and create will do is how actually it will be functioning is I will explain you. Yeah. So whenever you are performing any deployment on Azure portal, everything happens through the REST APIs. So here, let's say I wanted to create one resource group. So we will be having a concept of REST APIs. So as we are talking about APIs, I will tell you what is the main difference between normal API and REST API. REST API. So API is the thing, is any API that you have developed on your own. So here developed on your own, developer slash created on your own. So whereas REST API is the API already developed and created and you are consuming it. So let's say Flipkart. Okay. So Flipkart will be providing few APIs. So what might be the few APIs like here? Okay, I'll tell you an example. Let's say in Flipkart page you wanted to place one order. So what you will do, you will browse all your you will browse all the products. Once after selecting all the products, let's say you will finalize it with only one product. So you wanted to place the order for that particular product. So you have added to your cart. So let's say you have chosen the product. So after choosing the product, you have added to your cart. So once after the cart, what you will do is you will do the checkout. So after doing the checkout, you will be going to the payments page. So in the payments page, what you will be redirecting is you will be redirected to some separate URL. It is nothing but you are redirected to other payments API. So let's say you wanted to make an UPI payment. So here you will be having a different options, like you will be having sorry you will be having an UPI, credit card, a debit card. So there, I mean, cards like that. So once you click on UPI payment, what happens is whatever the bank, let's say phone pay. So phone pay, what he will do, phone pay will automatically create an one API and he will bind that API to your Flipkart page. So that means you are calling here phone pays REST API. So why I'm calling this REST API is it is already developed by PhonePe and that API you are consuming. So the main difference between API and REST API is REST API is an already an API developed by some service provider and you are consuming that API. Whereas normal APIs you will be created and you will be developing that one. So that is the main difference. So why I am discussing about the REST API is now what you are doing in your Azure portal. You are navigating to your Azure portal first thing. Okay, first you are navigating to your Azure portal. So after navigating to your Azure portal, what you are doing is you are clicking on a resource group. Let's say you wanted to create a resource group. So you have chosen your resource group. After choosing your resource group, you are selecting the location. So what is the location and what you are specifying the name of the resource group. After that, you have added few tags here. So after adding the tags, then what you are doing is you are clicking on review and create. Once you click on this review and create button, what happens is Azure will internally call its REST API. So what it will call is it will call uh, resource group resource group creation REST API. So REST API, as I already said, REST API is already provided by the service provider. Here, who are providing the REST API to you? Azure is providing the REST API. So in the REST API, what are the fields it will be having is the first field it will be having whether name is proper or not. So after that, it mean name is proper or not means what it will validate is it is already by used by other members or not. So if it is not used, it will take it as correct validation. After that, it will see whether location is correct or not, because few resource group might not, you cannot create resource group in few locations. So it will validate the location. So after that, if there are any tags, if it is like a optional thing. So if it is having an tags, then it will validate those tags also. Once all these parameters are coming into the under consideration, then it will invoke the REST API. So once you click on create, okay, I will come here. Now I am clicking on my create. So what it is doing is it is calling the REST API which is automatically been ready and it is creating the resource group. So here the resource group got created. So what it should understand is the background behind this. So this is the background that is happening through the REST APIs. So whatever thing you are creating in the Azure, it will happen all through the REST APIs only. So this is the one way of creation. So now we have discussed it to the Azure portal. Okay. So the through to navigate to the Azure portal. Okay. The main tools for interacting with Azure are portal, PowerShell, and command line. So I will explain all the three things. The first one is the Azure portal. Now we have already seen this. So the main URL for navigating to the Azure portal is https portal.azure.com. So coming to the second concept is CloudShell. What is the CloudShell is in the Azure page itself. When you are clicking the portal.azure.com, let's say here. Okay. So now I'm hitting my portal.azure.com. In the portal.azure.com, Azure has embedded a Cloud Shell inside it, and it is giving an option to directly interact with the Cloud Shell. So you can see the screen right on the top. You have a Microsoft Azure logo, and that you have an Azure search icon. The beside it you have a right side arrow mark underscore. So this is nothing but a Cloud Shell. If you click on this Cloud Shell, and below an IDE will be opening. So in this IDE, if you are opening for the first time, what it will ask is create a storage account. So why it will ask, I'll tell you. Okay. So here what we have done is Now we are discussing about the cloud shell concept. So in the cloud shell, first what you are doing is you are clicking on this button like right side arrow mark and underscore button. So once you click on that cloud shell, it will automatically launch. So when you are logging in for the first time, so let's say you are doing this for the first time, what it will happen is it will have prompt the thing like create storage account. So why you wanted to create the storage account and what is the background of this is, so whatever the time, I mean, once you created the storage account, what you will do generally, you will run through PowerShell scripts in unset indirect PowerShell scripts, or you will run few Azure CLI scripts under it. So in order to run this and order to store all the things, you should have some space. So in order to have that space, it will prompt for create storage account. So as I am not using this for the first time, I am not getting this one. So after that, entering it, you will be landing on this page initially. Okay, let us switch here. So when you are using it for the first time, it will prompt for after creating your storage account, it will ask two options. First option is you can select like PowerShell. Second option is you can select Bash. Bash is nothing but cloud CLI. You can Azure CLI. You can consider command line interface. So first I will explain the PowerShell and then I will go for CLI. So in this course, we have an option. I mean, we have an plan to cover the PowerShell commands also. As of now, just I will go with the basic command only. How to create a resource group. So now I am in the PowerShell window. So if you go to that, if you are not aware of the PowerShell also, no need to worry. Let's say you go to the Google, create Azure resource group using PowerShell. If you type this I mean, if you search this in Google, the first thing you will get learn.microsoft.com. If you go inside it, it will list all the commands like how to create a resource group and how to do all the things. So here I am in this page. It will show the examples also, like a new resource group name and everything. So just you click on this copy, it will automatically copy. Then you go to the portal and you can directly paste here. So the command is new hyphen agent resource group name. What is the resource group name? Let's say before I have given as tech with us, I'll give as here tech with us 1234 something random number, and location you can choose any location. Let's say I wanted to host my resource group under East US. Then you can come here and directly give select that less, yeah, East US. Just after typing this command, you can just hit enter. So what happens is your resource group will be created. See, as soon as if you hit enter, it is created as soon as possible. I mean, as fast as possible. So here also the thing is what is happening is it is also in the background. It is invoking one REST API. Through the REST API only this resource group is getting created. So this is the power. How this is the way how you will be creating your resource group in the PowerShell. Now coming to the CLI. If I wanted to go to CLI, I need to switch here window. Bash. I'll click on confirm. So I'm going to my bash window. So whereas PowerShell commands will be different and bash commands will be different. So I will come here, I will go to the Google again, create resource group, Azure resource group using, I will directly enter like Azure CLI. So it will directly give the commands like, it will be like agent group like that it will be. So if you come here, the first command is agent group, create, I will go here and I can give my parameters, what are the parameters it is required. So I can copy one of the thing. Okay, agent group create name. So I will copy this thing. Where is my yeah. So here AZ group create. What is the name I need to give here? Name I will give as tech with us some random numbers, and location I will specify as East US again. East US. I'll hit enter. So what is happening is my resource group will be created. See, it is created with tech with us 09 something random number. So if you wanted to browse your resource group, just you go to the resource group section, and if you refresh your page, just type with tech here. So this tech with us 1234 tech with us RG. I think the other one is about to come. I will refresh this page once again. So these are the three ways how, I mean, these are the multiple ways you can create. So the first one is the portal, which is a very easy interface you can create. The second thing is through the PowerShell, and the third one is the Bash. So if you come going forward, you will be having the complex scenarios like through Azure pipelines, how you need to create. Those all we can cover in the later classes. So these are the three resource groups that got created just now. The last one is using the portal. The second last but one is through the PowerShell, and the first one is using the Azure CLI. So in these three ways we have created these things. And coming to my going back to my PPT back, yeah. So the Cloud Shell, the same thing we have given like browser based shell, and allows to create, configure, and manage resources in shell. So the same thing theory we can go through that later also. And coming to the Azure PowerShell, so what is the main one more thing is, see, we can directly download the PowerShell into our local computer, and it will be very easy interaction. So already I have my PowerShell in my local, so I'll open this again here. I'll show you the same thing how we have done. So I'll run it as administrator, so that if any permissions also, it will be already, yeah. So my PowerShell is getting launched here. So what is the thing is here, this PowerShell is local, means you are not connected to any web, and from the local you need to do all the things. So before that, what you should do is you should use a command like connect hyphen az account, because you should connect to your PowerShell. So then only you can do all the things what you want to do. So I can use like connect az account. Then a browser will be popped up here, where you need to give your credentials for the authentication purpose. So I think it is getting popped up. Connect hyphen is it account I have given correctly. Yeah. See, the browser has popped up, and it will ask for the details which you need to cover, which you need to enter. So I have entered my thing, and it will automatically take the authentication in it. Once it is authenticated, it will show like the authentication is successful. So I think it is still getting authenticated. Yeah, here see, authentication is completed. You can return to the application. Feel free to close this browser tab. So I will close this browser, and here it will show like your authentication is successful, and it will show the subscription name, what is the tenant ID, and what is the environment. Now I will, the same command what I have used, I can use here. So here new hyphen, okay, I think I have already copied that one. Yeah, so this is the one. I can run the same. I want to create a new resource group now. So this is the fourth resource group I am creating. So I'll write it as tech with us fourth, for your fourth RG. This is the fourth RG I am creating. Just say let us keep the location South Central US. I am hitting the enter here. So what is happening is it will automatically connect to, I have already connected to my Azure account. Just if I hit this enter, it will automatically create a resource group under the same location. So I think it is getting created. So in the same way, you will be having the Azure CLI also. See here, my resource group got created in the South Central location. It is also invoking a REST API from the behind background. So I will come here, I will refresh my screen. My resource group should be here. I think it not get refreshed. So this is the, I mean, here from local directly you are interacting with your Azure PowerShell. So because if you wanted to run your huge scripts, then it is very useful when you have a local, or else you cannot manage all the scripts in the browser window. Yeah, here tech with us fourth RG. So it created the fourth resource group also. Okay, this way it is fine. So Azure CLI is nothing but the commands it is differentiating here. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next thing. Azure Resource Manager and Azure ARM templates. Okay, meanwhile, are we having any query in this till what we have discussed? Okay, I will take it as a no then. If you are having any queries also, meanwhile, you can ping in the chat also. Okay. Coming to the Azure Resource Manager. So, what is the Azure Resource Manager and what are the Azure ARM templates? So, Azure Resource Manager is the deployment and manage service for Azure. So, through this Azure Resource Manager only, you will be getting all the creation, updation, and delete resources in your Azure account. See, anytime you do anything with your Azure resource, ARM is involved. So, what are the resources that you are managing the Azure? It happens through all the ARMs only. See, when a user send a request from any of the Azure tools like APIs or SDKs or ARMs, first what happens is ARM will be receiving that request. Through ARM only, it will be authenticating and authorizing the request. So once authentication and authorization is happened, then it will send the ARM to the Azure service, which takes the required action. So I will explain that clearly. Okay. See, let's consider this as our ARM, Azure Resource Manager. So in the name itself, you will be having like Azure Resource Manager. So someone is managing something like that. You can consider as of now. So let's say you are one user. What you are doing is you are working through portal, you are working through PowerShell, and you are working through CLI. So I have used things like three things. So let's say three users. Here is the portal user. Here is the PowerShell user through whom we wanted to create the resource, and here is the CLI user. So what happens is whenever any user sends a request, let's from portal someone is trying to create a resource, so it will come and hit ARM first. From through PowerShell also it will hit ARM only, and through CLI also it will hit ARM only. What ARM will be doing is two things. It will be doing authentication and authorization. So here, whether the user authenticates first, it will authenticate the request. Send the second one is it will authorize. So authentication means whether the user is having correct access or not through the portal he was trying to create, or through PowerShell or through CLI, and he is having the specified roles or not to create that particular resource. If it is okay, fine, and it is accepted, then what happens is it will send a request to the Azure service here. So then Azure service, what it will do is it will automate. It will based on the request, it will allocate here Azure resource. So till now what we have done is we have created resource group. So what we have done from here, okay, from portal I have sent a request. So first it will the ARM, what it will do is it will authenticate first, and it will authorize also whether I am having the specified permissions or not. If it is not having, it will block here itself. If I am having specified permissions, it will send to Azure resources, Azure services. From there my Azure resource will be getting allocated. This is the flow where ARM will be dealing. Whatever the Azure resource you are creating in your portal or through any means, this ARM plays a very important role. So this all will happen from the backend side. Okay. And what are the resource manager benefits? Like some declarative templates you will be having, and you can manage your solution as a group. So these are the theory you can go through once we give the PPTs. And ARM templates. ARM templates, when you wanted to do an infrastructure as a code. First, what is the concept of infrastructure as a code is, I'll tell you. So you can listen more things in this infrastructure as a code in the interviews. They will be asking what is infrastructure as a code and everything. So let's say I am dealing with my project. My project is almost a big size project. So where there will be having 1,000 users. So to manage my project, I cannot depend on one single resource group or one single subscription. So let's say I have 5 subscriptions in my project. 5 subscriptions in my project, and I have around 20 resource groups in my project RGs, 20 RGs, and let's say I have around 10 web apps, and around 5 databases, 5 DBs, and it's a few other infrastructure. Okay, so almost we will be. I am having around 100 resources in my project. 100 Azure services, Azure resources. Azure resources are nothing but subscriptions, RGs, web apps, DBs. All the things comprise around 100 Azure resources. So let's say there is a requirement from a management for you. So what is the requirement is, so there are few testers are getting onboarded. So you wanted to create a new environment and you need to give to them. So what you know only one way is, okay. So what is the requirement that is coming to you as a DevOps person is, or DevOps person or any architect or something. So requirement is there is a new team, is a new testing team from other company. So testing team is being onboarded. So what you wanted to do is you wanted to create a new environment, and give to them. So here, what is the creation of new environment is, you wanted to create all the things, all the RGs, all the 10 web apps, all 5 DBs again once again. Then means it is like you wanted to create all these 100 Azure resources once again and give to the testing team. Then they will log into them and they can use them. So creating these 100 resources now through the portal or PowerShell is not very easy, because Azure resource group itself it took around for us 1 to 2 minutes. So you cannot spend your 100 minutes of time on that. Let's say 1.5 hours. In 1.5 hours will not be sufficient, because You need to manage all the things, and you need to give the connection from the hard disk to web apps, databases, all the things. So creating these 100 resources manually is it is possible, but it is a time taking. So manually is not the correct thing. So then what you will be doing? So definitely you should go for an automation. So what is the automation that we will be having is, we need to, whatever the resources that we are having, we need to have this all the resources in terms of a code in the sense, there will be having a many tools to deploy, like Terraform, or you can use an AML scripts, ARM templates, and all the things. Okay, ARM templates. What is this meaning? What is the ARM template here is, so if you wanted to create a resource group, okay, let's say if you wanted to create a resource group, what are the parameters you're specifying is, I wanted to create a resource group. Here what I'm specifying the name of the resource group, I'm specifying the location of the resource group, I'm specifying the tags. So whenever, if you wanted to create a 20 resource groups also, these three are the common parameters. So now what you will be doing is, you will be creating one template structure here, template structure. So what this template will be doing is, you will be automatically defining a schema, predefined schema here, and then you will be seeing like what is the resource group, what is the name of the resource group, and what is the location of the resource group, and what is the tags here it is required. So if you create one template, this template you can rotate for all the 20 resource group. So I will show you here in the PPT. This is one template of the storage account. So here what you are doing, just you are giving the here what is the allowed values, and what is the metadata, and what is the storage account name. Remaining all the things that are the parameterized here. Just you need to call this template and supply this name as a parameter, and it will automatically deploy this. If you are not understanding this concept also, no need to worry, I will explain, because in the upcoming classes we will come, when you do hands-on only, you will be habituated to this. So first you can think like, template is nothing but one predefined set of schema, where you can do, where you can spin up your environments or create your own environments. Okay, I'll give one more example. Okay, so I mean, in the when you are studying in mechanical engineering, so if you wanted to create any pattern pattern in the sense here, any object, let's say, if you wanted to create any object, first you will create a replica of this object, and then you will be using this replica of the object, and you will be printing all the objects. So it is like in, here what happens is, this replica of the object will be acting as a template to you, and whatever you are printing the objects, that will be act as a main objects to you. So it is like, you are having one replica or template, and using the template you will be having the main objects. Okay, or else one more example I can give is, let's say if you wanted to have you have one main copy, you wanted to make this copy multiple times, like you wanted to create 20 resource groups. So what you will do, you will go to a Xerox center, and in the Xerox center what you will do, you will give a main copy, and you will ask the Xerox person to take a 20 copies. So what happens here is, main copy will act as a template for you, and the remaining what the Xerox person is taking, it will act like an objects. So here template is nothing but the basic thing what you are considering to create an other objects. So that is a template. uh, if you are having any questions, you can ask that regarding the templates. And okay, we will come back to our story. So here what is the thing is, you need to create 100 resources. So what you will do for Azure subscriptions, you will create one template here. Okay, what are the templates list I am getting, I'll see here. Templates list. So here in the templates list, first I will take subscription template. So here the first I am getting the subscription template, and second one I am getting the resource group template, I am getting the web app template here, and, and then I am getting the database template. So I am having here 4 templates. With this help of these 4 templates, I will create one PowerShell script, and I will call all the 4 templates based on the number of times. So I will call the resource group template 20 times. I will call the subscription template 5 times. I'll call the web app templates 10 times. I'll call the database template 5 times. So what happens is, once I call any template, it will create the resource group. So if I'm calling web app template 10 times, 10 web apps will be created. So here I will write a simple PowerShell script calling these 4 templates, required number of times, then my 100 Azure resources will be created. So this is the simplest way how we can create. So organizing these templates and creating PowerShell script will come as an under infrastructure as a code. Means what you are doing is all your infrastructure you are organizing into a code and then you are creating. So this is the main understanding of infrastructure as a code. I will show you a live example where I have infrastructure as a code with me. Yeah, here, yeah. So this is my project actually. So in this project here, these are the templates. So in the under this template, there are many resource groups. So what will I am having for store for data factory? I have one template. For storage account, I have one template. For function app, I have one template. So I will call this template and I will create 100 if I want 100 function apps. I will call this template 100 times and my resource group will be created. So let's just consider this storage template. Here what I will do here, just I will give the storage account name. Just I will parameterize the storage account name and my storage account will be created automatically. So don't panic while saying this. It is like when you go into the project, you will be habituated to all the things. So coming to my here PowerPoint, yeah. So ARM templates will be acting as a main base for for completing infrastructure as a code. So you can see like infrastructure is a code is a concept where you manage your infrastructure as a lines of a code. Lines of a code in the sense we have already discussed. Here I am having 4 templates. So these consider each template consider 10 lines. So 40 lines of code. With 40 lines of code, you are creating whole your Azure infrastructure here. So that is the way you should understand. And by using the Azure templates, you describe the resource you want to use in declarative JSON format. So all the things that I am showing here, these are all the JSON formats only. And suppose the template then orchestrates the creation of those resources in parallel. So that's it. If you need 50 instances of your same resource, all 50 instances are created at the same time. Yeah, one more thing is you can create all the things in parallelly or in sequential. So let's say here, as you know, first in order to create any Azure resource, what is the main thing is first I should create my subscription and first then resource group. So what happens is even though if you wanted to create first web apps, it will wait till subscriptions are created and resource groups are created. Okay, I'll write here once again. So if you wanted to create a web app and let's say here you have 10 web apps. If you wanted to create 10 web apps, what you will do here, you need to wait till your subscription is created first. Subscription is created first, then you need to wait for your resource group to get created, then only your web app will be created. So once these subscriptions and resource groups are created, then you need to create 10 web apps. So what your Azure infrastructure as a code will do is all these 10 web, let's say for each web app to create, it will take around 5 minutes. So as per your assumption, it will take around 50 minutes to create all the web apps. But ideally, that is not the scenario. It will create all the 10 web apps in 5 minutes only. How it will happen is, it will execute all the things in the parallel way. So in parallelly, all the 10 web apps will be created in 5 minutes and your time will be saved very much using infrastructure as a code. Okay, let me go to the PPT again. Yeah. So these are the ARM templates. In order to execute the well infrastructure as a code, you should have an ARM templates. Why ARM templates? To save the time and to deploy your resources correctly. So benefits of an ARM template are declarative syntax. Declarative syntax is nothing but whatever you correctly do in the infrastructure and do that, then that only will be getting executed. Repeatable results means you can do all the things in parallel. And orchestration. Orchestration is nothing but a deployment only. So how fast you will be orchestrating your things. So how much fast you can deploy the things. Orchestration is also nothing but the ordering of the operations. So as I have discussed, if you wanted to create any database or web app, first you should create a subscription and then you should create your resource group. This orchestration will be automatically taken by Azure. So ordering and deploying will comes under orchestration. And modular files. So modular files is nothing but you will be having the separate templates. Okay, I'll show you as I have shown my project here. See, here there are many number of resources I need to create, but we have divided all these terms in number of modules. Like app configuration is one module, app service is one module. So in this we have segregated all the things in terms of modules, and then these modules will be used as a under these modules we will be having the templates. And what is the extensibility? Extensibility is nothing but you can add your PowerShell scripts or Bash scripts in there. So let's say if you wanted to create a resource group, but that resource group you wanted to create through the PowerShell. So simply you can go to the you can use the new -agent resource group, that PowerShell command in your ARM templates. So like this way we can use our ARM templates. Okay, think. Okay, are we having any queries on this portal, CLI, PowerShell, or ARM templates? Anything you can ask me. I'll take for 1 minute pause. Continue చేసానా కొన్ని ఉన్నాయి సెక్యూరిటీ ఒకటి ఉన్నాయి సింపుల్ అయిపోతుంది 5 minutes okay I will continue. Okay, coming to the next thing is Azure Identity Access and Security. So these other two topics is very simple thing only. Complete one. Okay, coming to the Azure Identity Access and Security. Identity is nothing but your identity should be there in the Azure. Then only it will recognize that specified person has called you. I mean, the specified person is reaching the Azure portal and he is accessing something. So let me go into it. And these are the learning objectives which we'll be doing. We will be discussing on the Azure Active Directory, and we'll be using the single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, and what is the passwordless things. So this will be some interesting when you go and deep dive. So first, what you should understand is what is Azure Active Directory. So Azure Active Directory is a service that will be provided by the Azure side, where you can store all your users, applications you can need to create, and this Azure Active Directory will be managing like authentication happening, single sign-on happening, and what is application management that we have, and what is the device management. So from which device you are be logging, whether the device is trusted device or not. These all the parameters will come into the picture using Azure Active Directory. So let me show in through the portal how the Azure Active Directory will be looking like. Yeah. So in the left corner, if you go here, you will be having here Azure Active Directory. So Azure Active Directory is also service where you will be have that is provided from the Azure side. So you will be having here users, what are your respective groups. If there are any external identities that you have, you can click on that. I think okay. So and what are the applications that you can manage, app registrations, identity governance. If you wanted to, suppose let's say you are using your mobile, if you wanted to register your mobile, you can come to the devices section and you can register. Then what happens is when you are trying to the Azure portal, it will say like this device is a trusted device. So it will think in such manner and it will allow the authentication. So going forward, yeah. So these are the few authentication methods. So let's say if you are using passwordless authentication, so that is like okay, let's consider first normal one. If you are using a passwords authentication, let's password in the sense if you are going to the portal and you're entering your password, it is like a low security, but it is a convenient to the user. Low security in the sense anyone might hack your passwords and you can enter into the portal, but that is a convenient way. Whereas coming to the passwords and two-factor authentication, so it is an inconvenient way, but it is a high security way. Inconvenient why we are speaking is, so you need to do the two terms of authentication, like you need to enter the password and then you need to do like OTP login and those things. Whereas coming to the passwordless authentication, what is a passwordless authentication is you will be having in any mobile authenticator, Microsoft authenticator, or what happens is the passwordless authentication is in the UI page. When you browse that, it will show the any number. That number you need to enter in your Microsoft authenticator app. That's it. You will be logging in here. Here, with it is a highly secure and it is a convenient way to the users. So this is how they have categorized the way of authentication methods. There you have a single sign-in, multi-factor authentication, and Azure AD. Coming to the single sign-in, what is a single sign-in is whenever you are logging to any browser, let's say, it will ask for your user ID and password only once. What happens is it will cache your what is the token that is getting generated. It will cache the token based on this user ID and password, and it will store in your browser. That token will be acting as a credential to all your subsequent logins till your session gets ended. That is a single sign-on. Coming to the multi-factor authentication, so what a multi-factor authentication is, it is like an adding one more extra factor of identification. It might be like any challenging questions, or it might be like any code that is going to the mobiles, and it might be like any biometric things. So many of people might be working in Infosys or TCS somewhere. So in TCS, what you want to do, if you wanted to fill any timesheet, first it will ask for authentication. So you need to go to the multi-factor authentication app, and you need to enter that number that is getting displayed, then only you will be getting logging in. Or else any organization might be using the two-factor way of authentication also. And coming to the Azure AD multi-factor authentication, so it is a Microsoft service that is getting provided from for the multi-factor authentication. It is like just a phone call or mobile application notification. So what is a mobile application notification is, you will be opening a notification will be coming on the top of a window. Let's say if you are logging to any Gmail from your other device, what happens is your Google account will automatically say whether it is whether you are getting signed in or not. You can just select yes or no. The same way Azure AD multi-factor authentication also will be popping up. You just need to select yes or no. Based on that, you will be authenticated inside it. Whereas coming to the passwordless authentication, this is the latest feature that everyone is getting adopted for using the passwordless authentication. So passwordless authentication is very easy, and people are finding it more convenient. So let's say what are the different ways of thing is Windows Hello for Business. What is Windows Hello for Business is, generally if you are getting a Microsoft image laptops, or if you are using a Windows PCs, so what happens is you will be asking for any biometric or PIN credentials. Just you can log in with the help of fingerprint, or you can just enter the PIN instead of password. So this is the one feature that we are getting from the Windows side. Coming to the Microsoft Authenticator app, you just need to install your Microsoft Authenticator in mobile, and you need to enter the number that is getting displayed on your screen. So once that is displayed, what are the number that is displayed on your screen, if you enter in your mobile, then you will be authenticated to that, or it might be any biometric or PIN to confirm. And third one is FIDO security keys. So what is this FIDO security keys? It will be like an USB devices. Let's say any USB device that is there, so you need to plug in that, or you can use any Bluetooth or NFC. Just you need to plug in that to your laptop, and it will act as an authenticator to it. Mainly this third option we might not see anywhere, but if there are any banking projects and those things, they might be using this FIDO2 security keys. Generally we will be going with the second option, like Microsoft Authenticator app. The first one is anyhow everyone will be using the PCs, which will be installed on your machines. And coming to the conditional access, so this is some concept that I brought it from the Azure to explain what we can give based on the conditions we can grant access. So what are the conditions and everything is, let's say suppose if any other third person is getting is trying to log into your account, so then it will throw like whether it is a correct login or not. And let's say I'll give one example. So if you are working from one location, let's say your hometown, it will automatically take that location as a trusted location. So if there is any sign in that is happening from an unusual location, then you can specify in Azure conditional access, like if any person is trying to access from other location, block that sign in. Or you can ask for one more way of authentication, like send OTP to my mobile number. Like that you can specify in your Azure conditional access, and this is as a tool that is provided from the Azure Active Directory. So based on the conditions that you set in this tool, it will automatically pop up those conditions. And coming to the Azure role-based access control, so this is a very important concept in the Azure. So what this concept will be telling is, so based on the role we can specify the access. Let's say I am myself in this subscription, I am having the owner permission. So in the owner permission, I will be having an access to do anything with my management group, subscriptions, resource groups, and resources. If I am giving any reader rule, just I can see them, but I cannot do anything with them. So this is a way you can control based on the user level also. You can control the access, and which scopes you can control is, you can control the access at management level, you can control your access at subscription level, you can control the access at resource group level, or you can control access at single resource also. So let's say if you are creating a VM, you have created one VM, you wanted to give access only, give access to that VM only to one of your friend, then what you will do is you can directly go to the VM level and you can give the access. So but you will be having the access at the other multiple levels also. So it is based on what level, and this is main RBAC will be main enforceable in your project levels. And coming to the zero trust model, so what is the zero trust model is, for each and every, okay, yeah, let's say generally how the classic approach will be is, if you log into one of the application and it will not ask for sign in again, it will not ask for the sign in, whereas in the zero trust model it will not trust anyone. It is because it is for the CF side only, it will not trust any of the members, and it will ask for authentication every time. Let's say I will show you this zero trust model how it will be working. Let's say here I am in this one of the my Azure window, I am trying to open this in the new tab. So in the new tab, what it will be trying is, it will be authenticating once again, and it will be rewriting for the authentication. So it is not trusting that this account, it will ask once again, and it will try to allow that. So this happens if you are having multiple accounts logged in. If you have only single account, it will automatically get redirected. So this is the zero trust model. And last one is the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. What this Microsoft Defender for Cloud is, it will check your resources are correct, are in the correct way or not. If there are any vulnerabilities that are happening, if there are any SQL attacks that are happening, if there are any workloads that are not distributed correctly, this Microsoft Defender for Cloud will act upon the resources, and it will give the suggestions like, this resource is not up to the mark, you need to go and check something. So this way Microsoft Defender for Cloud will helping you. So these are the main security terms we will be concentrated on, and what are the authentication purposes we are following, and what are the models that we are adapting for the Azure side. So I will take a pause for 1 minute. We have one more topic left. Yeah, someone is asking a question. Dilip, you are trying to ask something?
No.
Okay, fine. Give me a second. Okay, we will go into the last concept of AZ900 today. So this is a bit simple topic only, but this plays a major role in doing the things. Let me check. Okay. I'm unmute only. So yeah, we will be discussing on the features and tools in Azure governance and compliance that we are discussing now. So what is the tools that are using in Azure for the governance and the compliance? So in order to meet the compliance and the governance, we are having few tools. So one is the Azure blueprints. So what is an Azure blueprint? So where it will be useful is, so let's say you are starting with a cloud. So initially what you will be doing, you will be having only one subscription, and you will be having only one resource group, let's say. So once your company is growing, and once your resources are getting increasing, so what you should do, you should obviously increase your subscriptions, or you should obviously increase your environments. So increasing your subscriptions and increasing environments is not a big deal. Just you need to go, you are having a ARM template, you can use your ARM templates, and using infrastructure as a code you will deploy. But what is the main thing is how you should manage, how you should scale the configurations or features, how you should enforce your settings and policies as the new subscriptions. Considering all the things, Azure blueprints, Azure people came with an idea of Azure blueprints. So Azure blueprints, what they will do is, it will standardize your cloud subscription or environment deployments. Let's say uh, uh, So one more thing is here Azure Blueprint is it will govern all your settings and policies. Let's say if in the present subscription, I will give an example. Okay, so yeah, I will give an example here. Okay, you have a one subject subscription. So in this Azure subscription, there is an rule like there is a requirement. Let's say there is a requirement from the client, like so you should not create any resource group in the East US. Okay, that is the main thing from the client side. So what you will do in order to have this, we have discussed in the last class, like so we will be creating an Azure policy. So what this Azure policy will be doing is while creating itself, we will set up a policy like you should not create in any resource in the East US. So this is the policy that we are creating. Like that, we may having a n number of policies, n number of things. So in order to have all the things at a one place, we will be having an Azure Blueprint. So Azure Blueprint is nothing but all the policies and settings that we are enforcing on a single subscription. So this let's say you have around 10 policies. 10 policies, like one should not be creating in East US, and one should be having a premium tier, and like this you have 10 policies. So these all the 10 policies, if you want, this is limited to only subscription, like let's say tech with us subscription 1. So if you wanted to create one more subscription, let's say tech with us 2, but all the things that should be that are all the policies that are there in subscription 1 should be replicated to subscription 2. Then you cannot create all the 10 policies once again. Then what you will do is just you can use the Azure Blueprint. So you can use the Azure Blueprint of first subscription. You can by using the Azure Blueprint from the subscription, you can from the first subscription you can create your second subscription. Then all the policies that are there that are enforced on your first subscription will automatically inherited to the second subscription. So that is the main advantage of the Azure Blueprint. Coming to the Azure Resource Lock. Yeah, this Azure Resource Lock is very important. So what is Azure Resource Lock is, whenever you have created any resource group, let's say you have 10 resources. Okay, one resource group you have created. This is a different concept. I'll create one second. So you have three resource groups. So out of that, one resource group is related to the production environment. Okay, so this is related to the production environment, this is related to the dev environment, and this is related to the staging environment, the staging environment. So here the main production environment is your primary thing which you should safeguard. So this, and at any cost this resource group should not be deleted. So accidental, suppose let's say to one of your developer you have created given an admin rights for some other activity. If he accidentally delete this product resource group, then what happens is your business is completely in loss. So if you delete the dev resource group, you might have some time, but deleting the production resource group will make a very harmful impact. So in order to secure our resources that you have created, Azure has come up with a concept of resource lock. So what this resource lock is, so you can lock your resources what you have created. Let's say I have locked my this resource prod resource group. So even though if you apply delete operation, this resource will not be deleted at any cost. So I'll show you with a live example this one. Okay, so I will go my resource group that I have created just now. I'll go to my tech with this. Okay, this is the tech with the RJ first one I have created. What I will do is, no one should not delete this resource group. What I will do here we have the lock section. If you go to this lock section, you can create one lock. What this lock is, let's say I am creating like lock 1. So what is this lock type is anything read only or delete. So let's say delete. Note you cannot delete this lock. You cannot delete this resource. You cannot. I'm just typing text like you cannot delete this resource. Okay. As I'm clicking on OK. Now what happens is my resource group is protected with this lock one. Now I will go to the overview and I will try to delete this resource. Just see, I am deleting this resource. I am typing this here and copy this to here. I am trying to click on delete. So what it is showing, the resource group tech with us is locked and it cannot be deleted. Click here to manage locks for the resource group. So it will not delete your resource group because I have locked my resource. In order to delete a locked resource, what you should do is you should come to your logs. You should delete your logs here. Okay, just refresh. Okay, here I have this. I need to delete this log first. Then if I come now and if I click on delete, my resource will be deleted automatically. So resource logs are very important because you can safeguard your resources from accidental deletion or anything. So I think we are end of this. Yeah, we are end of this session. So if you are having any queries, you can ask us on all the three topics what we have discussed. I think today we have lengthy session bit.